of flat nipples and inverted nipples. This is the Health Channel. For a comfortable, successful breastfeeding, you do need your baby to latch on the breast properly. And for a baby to latch on the breast properly, you do need a protruding nipple. Now, there are some ladies who actually do have a flat nipple and or an inverted nipple. So what do they do? This video is meant to give you tips on what you can do while pregnant and when breastfeeding to ease the latching on the breast. So the first thing that you need to do is first of all ascertain whether you do have a flat nipple and or an inverted nipple and how bad it is. And how do you do this? Is by doing a pinch test. You can check on the comment section to see how you can do a pinch test on your breast. If you're not pregnant and you have actually found out that you actually have a flat nipple or an inverted nipple, what you can do is have a tendency of just be pulling your nipple outwards. You don't need to do it every day, but you can just have that at the back of your mind, so that by the time you conceive and then you'll have to breastfeed, that time your nipple will be out. Of course, that is if you have a mild or moderate nipple inversion. If you're already pregnant and have just found out that you have a flat nipple or an inverted nipple, you may need to invest in what we call a breast shell. A breast shell is a plastic that is carved as a shell and it has a hole at the center of it. So what you need to do is just place it on the areola, that's the dark part of the breast, and pull off the nipple where the hole is. Then you put on your bra and do this every single day till the day of delivery. By the time the baby comes, you're sure that the nipple will be out enough for your baby to latch. If you've just had your baby and you also realize that you actually have a flat nipple or an inverted nipple, you may need a breast shell that also has a milk catcher. The difference between these two is one is meant for people who are not breastfeeding or people who do not lick breast milk from the breast, and this other one that has a catcher is meant for people who are breastfeeding and milk is leaking out. Then the second thing that you may need to invest in is an effective breast pump. Emphasis on the word effective, because you need a pump that will actually create negative pressure that will actually pull out your nipple. You can do this every so often just before breastfeeding for the purposes of just pulling out your nipple, and then after that, place your baby on the breast and they will latch well. Then the third thing that you might need to invest in is what we call a nipple shield. A nipple shield is a thin nipple made of silicone. So what you do is you place the nipple shield on top of your nipple and then the baby suckles through the nipple shield. You can do this in alternate feeds, or you can say maybe you do that once or twice in a day. The purpose is just to make the nipple elongate. If you do have a cracked nipple and you want to have you want to rest your nipple, instead of you stopping to nurse, you may use a nipple shield to shield the nipple as the baby latch, and you may use it maybe for a day or two, and once the cracked nipple heals, then you stop using the nipple shield and continue breastfeeding. Just to summarize what you've just said, if you have not conceived and you've done a pinch test and realize you could be having a flat nipple or an inverted nipple, what you need to do is just have a habit of pulling out your nipple anytime, anywhere, at your own convenience. If you've already conceived and you've realized that you actually have a flat nipple, you may want to invest in a breast shell while you're still pregnant and wear the breast shell every single day. Please note that you do not need to sleep with a breast shell on. Then if you realize that you are actually having a flat nipple or an inverted nipple and the baby has already arrived, you can just choose any of these. So you can either get a breast shell with a milk catcher, or you can get an effective breast pump to pull out the nipple, or if it's very severe, you might need a nipple shield to train your baby to pull out the nipple as they breastfeed on your breast. Thank you so much for taking time to watch this. Support breastfeeding, support a healthy nation.